Hi, good morning. My name is Father Rayappa. Today I'm going to talk about cultural ecology, a new terminology used by Pope Francis in his encyclical called Laudato Si. And this word explains how important every culture is. For example, Indian culture is very, very important, very old. Pope Francis recommends that all the cultures should be saved. In India today, we talk about Sanskrit, the oldest language, and the yoga, the oldest form of meditation. And in India, there are so many customs, the dresses like sari, dhoti, and also food. The Indian food is so old, and the recipes are very, very old, very ancient. And these are our cultural heritage, or Pope calls it a cultural patrimony. And we should never allow these things to disappear. In Laudato Si, paragraph number 143, 143, he writes, together with the patrimony of nature, there is also an historic, artistic, and cultural patrimony, which is likewise under threat. Pope Francis simply says, because of this globalization and the monoculture, our Indian culture is destroyed and our languages are destroyed. Many people, they don't talk our Indian language anymore, only English. So we need to treasure, because this is a cultural patrimony of our people, and we need to value it and we need to preserve it. And he continues in paragraph number 144 in Laudato Si, new processes taking shape cannot always fit into frameworks imported from outside. They need to be based in the local culture itself. And today, religions, for example, and they come to India and they want to convert. I mean, there's no problem converting into a new faith, but the total conversion, like even changing the culture, for example, tribal people in India, those tribal communities are cultural patrimony, and we baptize them, we evangelize them, and then we turn them into like Western people in dresses, in eating, in mannerism, and destroy that culture, and you create a new one, maybe a Western culture. In Africa, it happens very often. In Africa, people abandon their cultures because they don't have, even though they have tribal culture, but the religion goes there and destroys their cultures and they become westernized. Most of the Africans, they wear suits, coat and pants and tie, and even eating with a fork and knife. So that is total annihilation of culture, especially religions. They do that. And a disappearance can be very serious. Is serious, the seriousness is compared to the disappearance of dinosaurs. Yeah, for example, I'm from Tamil Nadu, India. If my language Tamil disappears, I think it is equal to the disappearance of a dinosaur, which happened 65 million years ago. Pope writes in paragraph number 145 beautifully. That's the best writing. I love it. He writes as follows: the disappearance of a culture can be just as serious or even more serious than the disappearance of a species of plant or animal. And finally, Pope considers the tribal people, they are sacred communities. For them, the land is so important. Today, multinational corporations, they bought everything, and poor people sold everything. And they lost their patrimony, heritage, the land. As long as you have a land, you have the livelihood, and you remain in the land. Once you sell the land and you become a migrant and you abandon your own village, your own environment, and you become a refugee, almost an exile. That is what's happening because of the globalization and the monoculture. And today, Pope writes so beautifully in the prayer of number 146 in Laudato Si as follows: for them, land is not a commodity, but rather a gift from God and from their ancestors who rest there, a sacred space with which they need to interact if they are to maintain their identity and values. Cultural ecology was very important. I am an Indian, I value my culture, my philosophy, my religions, the multiplicity of religions, their gods, their pantheon of gods, and their mythology, and their holy books, and the ancient language Sanskrit and yoga. So I think before we want to decide either side, maybe you oppose what the government is bringing or you support what government is telling to value our culture, you better read Laudato Si, Cultural Ecology. Only there are 3 or 4 paragraphs in the chapter number 4 of Laudato Si. Before you oppose them, read this. Pope gives you a balanced view. If you read that, and I think we will really support our government for the national interest. Our country is important, our culture is important. So Pope is also seem to recommend to support your own culture. And thank you and have a nice day.